Good afternoon and a happy Tuesday to you. I think the topic that I want to do this week is what it feels like to be a people pleaser, and then kind of how to overcome it. Because in high school I was a major people pleaser. Like, it was bad. Like, if people were mad at me, then I was just upset. Like, I could not be happy with myself if someone was mad at me, if they didn't like me or whatever, didn't get along with me, disagreed with me. It didn't matter. If it wasn't, like, if I didn't please somebody, if I didn't make them happy, if I was not their ride or die, basically, then I felt like the world was coming to an end, and it sucked. And I hated it so flippin' much. But it's like I needed that to keep going, you know what I mean? It was almost like an addiction, actually. Obviously now I'm not like that. I mean, sometimes I base my actions and my words around other people, but it's not because I feel like I have to be the greatest thing since sliced bread for them. You know what I mean? So basically what it feels like is whenever you are a people pleaser, it doesn't matter if you don't like to do something, you have to do that something because someone else likes it. For example, I hated whenever I couldn't, like, speak my mind, you know what I mean? Like, whenever I couldn't say what I was thinking, but I had to keep quiet because other people didn't like what I had to say. And it really sucked. But also, sorry, there's construction traffic and it's annoying. Like in elementary school also, people would judge me based on what I wore and based on my age and how I looked all the time. And I'm not gonna lie, I mean, I didn't have the greatest style. I didn't know how to match clothes and colors and patterns and all that. Also, in elementary school, if one of my friends was not friends with one of my other friends, then we couldn't be friends. And I've always been the kind of person to have all kinds of friends in all different groups, I guess. Just because I'm just like a well-rounded person. And so if I had one preppy friend that was preppy, I couldn't be friends with my nerds or the people that don't really fit anywhere or the drama people. You know what I mean? Like, I couldn't be friends with anybody because they didn't like them. So I was like, well, if you're friends with them, then we can't be friends. And I already had a few friends enough as it was, so I couldn't really afford to drop anybody. So sometimes I'd be like, okay, we're not friends, and then I would just, like, sneak around them and be friends with this other person instead, until they were just like, yeah, no, you can't be friends with me if you're friends with her. And so yeah, I had a lot of those really terrible friends that would make me choose between the two of them. It wasn't until middle school that I discovered what it was like to have a real friend. And then in high school, I discovered what it was like to have a backbone. Yeah, that was tough. But even then, I was still a people pleaser. And people pleasing is so stupid. It's just so stupid. Like, it's exhausting trying to go out of your way to make sure somebody likes you, or going out of your way to be friends with everybody, or be friends with specific people, or whatever. You have to listen to the right kind of music. You have to wear the right clothes. You have to say the right things. You have to do the right dance moves. That was a thing too. Like, I couldn't dance traditionally, like, because I knew how to waltz. I knew how to tango, stuff like that, and how to swing dance. I love swing dancing. It's so much fun. Like, all this stuff that people look at now and you're just like, oh my gosh, that is so cool. In high school, they'd be like, yeah, that's cool. Not really. Like, certain people were just like, yeah, that's super cool. And then, or like, if a guy was like, oh yeah, I know how to dance, and then they learn that you can dance, and it was like, just kidding, this isn't really dancing. I just wanted to impress you, but it's clearly not the extent of your knowledge. And so I had to basically dumb myself down for so many people because they couldn't keep up with me. And then eventually got to the point to where I dumbed myself down too much. So then I really was not as smart as I used to be. And that was frustrating because I had to be stupid because other people were stupid as well. And then I was like, oh, but now it's cool to be smart. And now I gotta be smart. But since I dumbed myself down for so long, it was hard for me to catch up. And that was frustrating as well. Basically, I was not myself. I did not discover who I was until, I want to say, like, senior year. Because I was learning who I was, like what I like to do, my skills, my talents, everything, junior year. But, I let a boy influence me and get to me. And I let a boy make decisions on what I was doing, what I was saying, who I was. Boys are stupid. And so I still wasn't at my greatest potential. So whenever I realized that that's what was going on, it was a wake-up call. Really painful wake-up call. Because whenever I found out that he was talking to other girls, and like, not just talking, but like talking to other girls, I was like, oh, this is fantastic. Glad to know that I am not your one and only like you claimed. But I realized, had to learn a very hard truth, that it's just not worth it to people please. So then I learned who I was, and then I met my husband, I got married and everything. And I just wanted to spend all my time with him. Like, he was the greatest thing since sliced bread to me. So whenever I started dating my husband, I should start there. I just want to spend all my time with him. Just him and only him, always, just 24/7. And so whenever it was just us, I was like, I'm on top of the world. Everything is wonderful. I don't need anybody else. I just need him and me, and that's it. But here's the thing about me. I'm an extrovert, like a hardcore extrovert, to where if I go longer than a couple days without seeing people, without any kind of society or anything like that, I literally feel like my mind is going crazy. Like, I get so depressed and down, and I feel like I'm, like, not just lonely, but like lonely. Like, there's nobody else in the world who knows me or anything like that. So even when I'm surrounded by, not really surrounded, but like if I'm with my husband 24/7, it's just like I can't be who I am, because he's an introvert. I mean, he's kind of like an extrovert introvert, but he's still an introvert, which means he can stay inside for weeks at a time and be totally fine. That's not me. And so, like, at first, it was like a dream come true, just spending all my time with my best friend. But then I was like, oh, I actually need human interaction. But he's a little bit more, I don't want to put him down. I don't want to say he's this terrible human being, because he's not. He's just a little bit more protective. Let's just say that. He's very protective of me. And whenever we first met, I was kind of naive, and I didn't really know how to tell if a guy was into me or how to put them down nicely. Because even if a guy was into me, it'd be like, no, we're just friends. But he'd be like, no, he's into you. He likes you. I'm like, no, we're just friends. And my best friend would be like, no, he's right. He's really into you. And I'd be like, no, but we're just friends. Then they just be like, okay, just wait. Just watch. You'll see. And, I mean, part of this was also the people pleasing as well, because if the guy was into me, I felt like I was doing something right. I couldn't just be okay with just myself, you know what I mean? And so, whenever I realized that I was kind of naive, I learned, oh, this is how you're not naive. This is how you're paying attention to everything. This is how you can tell if a guy's flirting with you, how you can nonchalantly and easily just be like, yeah, this is my life, I'm taken, I don't want anybody else, kind of thing. Like, this is how you're pleasant and friendly without coming off as flirting. So I learned that. It took a while, but I figured it out. I don't think that my husband necessarily understood that I figured that out, or even if he did understand, I think it was also that he just didn't trust the guys. Even if I knew that I was fine and that a guy wasn't gonna pull a move on me, it was just different, because he knew how guys thought, how they felt, what they do and everything. But I knew that I was taken. I was happily taken, happily married, happily engaged, dating, whatever my status was at the time, and it wasn't an issue. But it would always cause fights, and so again, with the people pleasing, here we go. Had to please my husband. And so I was just like, you know what, fine. I'll just drop all my guy friends. It's not a big deal. I don't need guys anyway. Or guy friends, I don't need guy friends anyway. But you kind of do need guy and girlfriends, because it helps you to learn how to interact with people either like you, not like you. It's healthy to have friends of all races, sexes, everything. It's very healthy. It's not healthy to isolate yourself from people, even specific kinds of people. You got to interact with people on different levels, because otherwise you're socially awkward. And I became socially awkward. Me, extrovert, always putting myself out there, always helping people, always reaching out to people to help them, socially awkward. And I closed myself off and everything. I was a hermit, and I've never been a hermit before in my life, and that didn't help with my depression or anything. And so then whenever I was kind of like realizing what was happening, I was like, you know what? I kind of miss having guy friends. I miss being able to talk to guys and not automatically think, oh my gosh, I'm flirting, or he thinks I'm flirting, or he thinks that something is gonna happen, or you know what I mean? I got tired of feeling that way. And so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna reach out to some of my guy friends that I know are gonna they're gonna try something on me, you know, they're not gonna try to pull anything over my head. And the whole time I was talking, and it was just talking, just catching up, just talking about life and how family was and everything, I felt like I was cheating, and it was so horrible because I conditioned myself to think and feel this way because people pleasing. And it sucked, even though I knew in my mind it's not cheating to have a conversation with the guy. It's not cheating to say, oh my gosh, I have a 2-year-old daughter and she's beautiful. You know what I mean? That's not cheating. It's not cheating to have a conversation with no intentions of bringing it farther than just friendship. You know what I mean? But that's part of people pleasing. If you feel like you have to be a certain way, or be a certain person, or speak a certain way, it's gonna mess with you. And it really messed with me bad. And now I'm just finally figuring out how not to be a people pleaser. 23 years later, finally figuring out how not to be a people pleaser, how to be independently strong without being independent. You know what I mean? Because I am still married and everything, and I have a child and all that. I want to be independent enough to know how to survive, but I don't want to be so independent that I don't need anybody. Because everybody needs somebody. Even those really strong independent women, they all need somebody. Even if it's just someone to tell her, bro, chill out, you're good. You know what I mean? Because every woman's going to go through that. So the way to kind of overcome being a people pleaser is you gotta just like tell yourself that you're more important than pleasing other people. You know, you gotta say, I gotta please myself too. And if pleasing myself doesn't please other people, then that's okay. And part of that comes with self-love. And I think that was also the biggest part, is because I didn't love myself. I didn't even like myself. I barely tolerated myself, you know. And I was just like, I hated being left alone with myself as well. And it was just not a good place to be mentally. So whenever I started to work on myself and started to work on my self-love and, like treat myself with respect and everything, I just learned how to, just be okay. You know what I mean? This is not the right turn. I don't want to be on this turn. You learn that, yeah, you're good. I'm good. Look in the mirror and say, I like me. I like who I am. I like where I am in life. You know what I mean? And you gotta kind of be there first before you can be okay with not pleasing other people. Which, I mean, okay, you gotta make people happy sometimes. You can't just be a jerk all your life, every single day. You gotta be pleasant and friendly as best as you can to like your personality and character and everything. Because I know not everyone's an introvert or extrovert like me. I know not everybody loves people as much as I love people. Some people genuinely just hate being around every other person. That's okay. But you gotta still be okay with hanging out with just yourself and pleasing yourself and everything. Of course, there's also you please yourself too much, and then that's just selfish. That's a different topic altogether. But it's a mental process to work through. It's a long process. It takes time. It doesn't happen overnight. But when you get to that point to where you don't feel like you have to always be the person that everyone else says that you are, it's really healing and it's freeing. Like, I feel so free knowing that I can just be and do, like, be whoever I want, do whatever I want, and not have to worry about if someone is gonna take it the wrong way or if they're gonna be hurt by what I say or do, or if they're just gonna be offended over something little that doesn't even matter. And it's just, it is so nice. It is so nice. And I really enjoy being with myself most of the time. And I'm still working on it. Some days I'm just like, ugh, I'm too much. Stop. Go away. That doesn't obviously work or help or do anything. Can't leave myself. But I'm finding that whenever I do me, I take care of me. Okay, this truck is being ridiculous in front of me. They keep driving into the turning lane and then driving back into the main lane. And then, ugh. Stop! Just drive safely, truck. And then they're slowing down and speeding up and slowing down and speeding up like they can't make up their mind. Okay, are you actually turning this time? Yes, they're actually turning. Goodness gracious. If you can't drive a truck, then don't drive a truck. Jeez Louise. I feel like I'm just like ranting on and on. Basically though, you just got to get to the place mentally that you want to be before you can stop people pleasing. Because you could try, you could be like, yeah, I'm confident, I got this, but really you're not. Because you'll still be centering your life around this other person or people, whether you realize it or not. And to be honest, it's kind of a miserable life. It's kind of miserable to, only do what other people want you to do and not what you want to do. Or do what you want to do, but not to the extent that you want to. It's so miserable. It sucks. Anyway, that's it. That's my topic. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up. If not, leave a comment, tell me why. And leave comments of what you want me to talk about for next week or whatever else. And I will catch you guys in the next video.